I don't even know how to introduce the story because I guess in the end we agree with the content but hate the framing, which seems to be a pretty common theme for these work reform stories.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good to be bored at work? Because we don't. But it's an interesting thing that we talk a lot about in the next episode.
Well
Peter
said.
wraps it up.
Exactly right. Just like that.
Yeah. It takes us a little longer to get there, but it's a fun conversation.
Yeah.
John, is it good to be bored at work?
You know, it feels like a loaded question coming from you. I cannot answer anything sincerely. So I will say this. This article.
Yeah. Wait, what's that mean? You can't answer anything sincerely?
Mike's incapable of asking a sincere question, I think.
Mike baits me every episode.
That's not a trap. I mean, it kind of is.
You bait me every episode. But I will say this about this article. I actually like this take for certain. So in a limited capacity. What they're saying, this article talks about how they took a very small group of volunteers to do this test group. They took 2 sets of 30, I think it was. And I don't know how you can measure this, but the goal of these 2 test groups was to measure creativity. And what they did was the first group basically sat and was super bored for like an hour or something. And the other group had to do a very annoying task of, was it identifying and separating M&Ms by color, I think?
Yeah, with one hand.
Is that how it went?
For some reason. I don't know why
By
that was in
hand.
there, but yeah, whatever. With one hand.
So with one hand. That's right. So even more annoying.
So
and then the results. Yeah.
It's a little bit different than what you said. I'll read from the article here. So the study asked 52 subjects to do a pretty boring job. Sort apart a bowl of red and green beans with one hand for 30 minutes. The other half of the group were instructed to create art projects with paper, beans, and glue. So the sorting group was considered to be the bored group, while the other group was more engaged creating art projects and paper beans. With beans and glue. And what they did to measure the results is at the end of the test, they asked both groups to solve a problem, and the group that had done kind of the tedious task of sorting came up with better and more creative solutions that could be applied to the problem. So their conclusion was the bored group, which was the group doing these mindless tasks, ended up being more productive or more creative, more effective at solving the problem.
Sure. So, okay. I think that inherently it feels flawed, this test, but I will entertain it with something like a principal or like a infrastructure architect, let's say. This is a person that needs to really think on big problems for a company. And I think that if you have this person also do something a lower level individual contributor does, right? Like spin up a new like VM or a cluster or whatever.
Data entry or something like that.
Or data, yeah. Like something that shouldn't be done by them. I think that they will not be able to be nearly as effective doing their actual job, which is these really long-term visions and projects and seeing them come to life. Versus an architect, an infrastructure architect that is sitting and thinking for most of their day and only, let's say, doing 2 hours of actual work. I think that the latter will do better than the former.
All right.
Does that make sense? Are you guys following so far?
John?
Yeah.
You are 100% correct. I completely agree with everything you just said. You nailed
okay,
it.
we can stop recording. I think that is a
why am I
first, ladies and
always
gents.
why am I always so nervous with it? Like
Everyone
I'm
else?
like, what's he gonna say now? What?
Yeah.
the fuck? I never know. I never
I
know.
like to keep it interesting.
You keep
I
me- you keep me on my
totally
toes.
agree. In fact, it reminded
Chris
me
Mike's
of
an asshole.
there was another article I pulled up about why do our best ideas come up in the shower, and I'd heard this years ago, and I left the article up because it references a study. The formatting of the webpage that the study's on is terrible, so I won't bring it up. But the study was from 2006. So this is research that has been known for decades. And what they found is that you have big ideas in the shower, because what you're doing in the shower is the, routine task that requires zero thought of washing yourself. You're relaxed. You're just going through this ritual. Your brain is free to like do whatever, and it comes up with cool ideas.
Mentally. Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're describing here. My only problem with this article is the goddamn framing again.
Yeah.
Why frame this in a negative way? Like, it's infuriating.
I see. That's the thing. The headline I don't agree with, but the kind of underlying idea I sort of do. Like, it's
100%.
not good to be bored at work. I thought about this, right? Yeah, okay. So there's times when I've been bored at work and it's prompted me to be more creative because I've had a lot more energy and my brain has just been free to think of new ideas and I haven't been focused on other things. Okay. But some of the most excruciating times have been when I have for literally months not had anything to do except read Reddit at work because my job was meaningless and pointless and I got it done in half an hour a week.
Right.
And I hated that so very much.
We need to replace bored with doing your job effectively.
Maybe.
Right.
What are the things?
Well, to be bored, I guess it's subjective here, but to be bored at work means you have nothing to do. You have nothing to do. That's bored at work. But to be effective at your job, it could mean sitting for 3 to 4 hours and thinking.
Yeah.
So this is one of the revelations I had years ago as a programmer, as a developer, right? When I had a particularly difficult bug or a piece of code that was really kind of screwing my head and I tried a few approaches and I was getting lost down the rabbit hole, I learned that actually a good thing to do was to walk away from it, just forget trying to solve that thing. And I used to feel guilty because I felt like, I'm going off to read, Reddit or Hacker News or whatever, or just go for a walk, literally, and feel like I wasn't working, I wasn't producing. But then almost always I would come up with an elegant, simple solution to it because my brain is still going on. Your subconscious is the thing,
And then it clicks.
100%.
It's the rubber ducky solution of, this is very, overused example of having a rubber ducky at your desk to talk to, explain the problem that you're facing. Now, someone who does not know anything about this theory walks up to your desk and says, have you been talking to a rubber duck for 30 minutes? You're fired. Like, what are you even doing? Instead of, that's just one scenario or an example of
it's just
how it could be perceived as slacking off or being bored when actually you're being effective and trying to solve the problem.
You wouldn't
it's
describe
when it's not visible that you're working.
And it's just it's you wouldn't describe your state of mind in the shower as being bored.
Exactly. Well done for getting it back to.
But
nice.
Like you said, it's exactly like you described, Peter. It took me 2.5 decades of being a programmer to finally accept that going for a walk was working. Because that was literally when I solved the problem. Yes, I came back and actually typed it in like a little monkey or whatever, but it was while I was on the walk that I was actually doing the hardest part of the job, and it took me forever to come to terms with that. Like exactly like you said, I feel so guilty.
Yeah, and that's a pleasurable thing. Like being in the shower is generally nice. Going for a walk is something good. Reading Reddit is kind of fun. It feels like it's time wasting, but actually it's an activity where you're relaxing. You're letting your thoughts kind of percolate. It's interesting actually.
Some of the other stuff like reading Reddit maybe or watching TV. Some like I don't know if I like in my experience if that helps like free up the mind. But
I've had ideas pop everywhere in while playing a video game and being like, wait, escape, go to a notepad, get it out.
Me too.
Get it onto text. Get it onto text so that at 2 a.m. it's not in my head anymore because I'll start obsessing. And then I'll come back to it during the workday.
A side effect of this is that I've learned to have a way of taking notes with me, like at all times, because that's the worst when you realize the solution to a really difficult problem and you don't have a way to write it down or make a record of it.
My phone is full of voice notes when I'm driving and like have some idea. I'm like, oh crap, I need to get this down someplace.
Get this down,
But
or when you're just falling asleep as you're falling
Yep.
asleep. Everyone, I
the
feel like, has
worst.
gotten this.
Write it down.
And then it's like everything clicks, everything lines up, the puzzle's complete. Oh my god, I hate that feeling. But it's good.
Ding!
At the
I
same
am
time.
awake again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Back to the computer. Back to the
Yeah,
phone.
right.
Mhm.
It's this
Yeah.
fucking story
I agree.
after story after story. It's the framing, like the work
It's
reform
always
stuff.
the framing. Why are we always painted as the bad guys? It is unreal.
Exactly.
They're using these, and it's so subtle you don't even realize it. The use of the word bored, that means bad. Bored at
Yeah.
work? No, bad. They can't say taking, like, not being active at work or being inactive at work. There's so many words you could use that isn't so. And at this
Charged.
point, it feels almost like charged. It feels like it's just for clicks now.
Yeah.
It's not like some big conspiracy that they're out to get workers. It's to get that trigger response of, oh, what are they talking about? Why are they saying I'm bored and that it might be a good thing?
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
Oh,
I agree.
people are more productive when they take time to think. Nobody's going to feel outraged and want to
No.
read that article, but that's what the truth of it is.
I'm just looking to see if this guy, his name is Mark Wilson, if he's written any kind of similar stuff. All right, nothing too obvious. All right,
Like, it's good
Maybe again, look at
research.
them later.
It's good research. So, nobody
but
who's
you know what? As a headline, is quite effective. It got us talking about it, so
That's
you know,
true.
Well done, Mark.
I just think people could come away with the wrong impression. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I
annoying.
don't know. But another fun conversation. I think we're going to wrap it up. We don't have to go to 20 minutes. However, as is our theme for the week, we will implore you, beg
Please.
you, not like we do a good job with the show. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Whatever. We love it. We love you.
think so.
What we want is to game the YouTube algorithm. Like, is that against terms of service someplace? I feel like that could be against
I don't think
terms
so.
of service.
No.
No, I don't think so. No, what you're doing is you're using the tools that YouTube is
Yes.
providing you. We all know this is known that if you like and comment and subscribe on a
Yes.
channel and make it interact with it,
Yeah, tell your friends.
you're going
Share.
to increase the traction. You're gonna put us on a little rocket ship, and we don't know how high they'll fly. But if you do this, and please,
One
do
thing
this.
we should say is, because we've been asking this pretty much all week, except for a little bit yesterday, not as much. We should say thank you to all the people who are doing
if
this
it
already.
worked. We don't know if this
I
worked
mean,
yet.
well, no,
come
no, Mike, my God,
We'll thank
If it
them
worked or
tomorrow if
didn't
it
work-
worked. Come on.
Okay.
now.
if it worked or didn't work,
Ignore what Mike's saying, but just
yeah.
thank you to.
I
Is there a
guess.
mute button? Can we mute him for a second? Because
I have a mute button.
no, genuinely, thank you guys. We appreciate all your support, and yeah, thank you. Come by Discord. Let's say hello. Come by for 5 minutes so we can say thanks. And
Yeah,
and hi.
but
Um,
we get told that people love the show. They can't believe we don't have 10,000 subscribers. We totally agree. The way you can, if you think
Yeah, we're so
that,
good.
the way you can help make that happen, literally, is click the like button, leave a comment. That's maybe even the most important thing, and subscribe to the show. Not because you do it because you like it. That's fine, but seriously, do it because we need you to help us game the algorithm.
Yes, please.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can't say that strongly enough.
Have a good
So I'll just
rest
try
of
to
your
say it
week
often
and
enough.
weekend. I think weekend. Is this Thursday?
okay,
This will be Thursday.
We're done.
Yep.